Good morning, everyone. And thank you for joining us. We are just a few days away from celebrating a new year, and now we can celebrate the selection of new leadership for our Fayetteville Police Department. I'd like to extend my appreciation first to our Human Resources Department led by Jerry Clipp, as well as Dr. Strauss from Developmental Associates for their support in facilitating this process, and to the Police Department and its leaders. In particular, I'd like to say to the staff of the Fayetteville Police Department, thank you. Throughout this entire process, you've been in my thoughts, and I'm very pleased to be able to make this selection and appointment today. Following an intense search process, I am indeed pleased to announce that the Fayetteville Police Department Assistant Chief Kimberly Braden has been selected as our next Chief of Police. We are truly fortunate to have identified exceptionally qualified candidates through the search, and making an internal hire exemplifies how well we cultivate and nurture talent from within. Chief-Select Braden has more than 26 years in law enforcement with the Fayetteville Police Department, starting his journey as an officer in 1996, with subsequent promotions in 2008, 2015, 2018, and 2019 before becoming an Assistant Chief overseeing the Field Operations Bureau. His work in a variety of units, his collective body of experience, education, philosophy, and approach to modern policing make him well prepared for taking on this next role in his career, and for leading the Fayetteville Police Department as chief of more than 605 members with a budget of more than $59 million. As we are the 6th largest city and the 9th largest state and the most powerful country in the history of the world, it is my pleasure to be able to introduce to you our next Chief of Police, Kimberly Braden.
Good morning. I'd like to start by saying I'm extremely thankful for the opportunity to continue to serve the Fayetteville community, which I've called home for the past 45 years. I want to thank the City Manager, Doug Hewitt, for his confidence in my ability to lead and giving me this opportunity. I look forward to bringing what I've learned throughout my career to lead the Fayetteville Police Department, as many of those have done before me. I'm grateful for the opportunity and ready for this responsibility. I would also I'd like to thank all those who have supported me throughout this process. The words of encouragement from my family, my peers, and the community have provided me the motivation required to be successful in such a competitive process. Now that a selection has been made, there's a lot of work ahead of us as we prepare to close out 2022 with the New Year's Eve spectaculars this Saturday. After that, I look forward to working with Chief Nolet and the Fayetteville Police Department moving forward in 2023. We will start conversations and develop strategic plans that align our departmental strengths with the needs of our community. There will be many conversations concerning recruitment, retention, and strategies to address violent crime. Finally, I would like to thank Chief Hawkins for her leadership and service to the Fayetteville community for the past 5 years. For me personally, she has provided opportunities that have allowed me to grow as an officer and an individual and prepare me for my time to lead. I would like to thank her and wish her well in her retirement. Thank you.
So, first of all, thank you for letting me come up and take just a slight moment to congratulate you and tell the community you should be proud. Chief Braden, you should be proud. Chief Braden's family, you should be proud. You have someone who's come from the city, who's about to lead this department and this community into the next chapter, and I'm very proud. We will continue to transition within the next month as I continue my retirement, but once again, thank you, congratulations, and we are one city that's going to move forward with an amazing chief.
Any questions that you'd like?
Can you tell us your leadership style?
Personally, I wouldn't say I have a specific leadership style. I think I adjust to the moment, what needs to happen at that given time. There's times when, we can be diplomatic and we can take the time to figure out a problem together, and there's times we know in crisis situations where you have to be more authoritative in your approach to leadership. So I think it depends on the time and the situation, and I adjust accordingly.
Vision for the future, where do you want to see the department become?
Again, right now, but there's a lot of work to do as we get ready to close out this year in 2022 with the New Year's Eve. I'm sure there's going to be time for conversations, and it's not just my vision for the department. It's going to be the vision of the employees of the Fayetteville Police Department. It's going to be the vision of city management. It's going to be the vision of the community. So I'm willing and prepared to have those conversations and take that in the direction that we all can agree upon.
Can you talk to us more specifically about your vision for aligning mental health services with police response in scenarios where you might be dealing with a subject, a person who's having a mental health crisis?
So for right now, I know there's research that's being done. So that's something I'm willing to sit down and based on the research that's brought back to the table and have those conversations.
What about the morale within the police department?
Morale's always, I spoke largely about, morale, recruitment, retention. Those are going to be one of the first conversations that we have to sit down and talk about what we can do to improve that and retain employees.
Do you have any ideas, any plans for that?
Again, I have ideas in my head, but I want to make sure that's the best fit by having the conversations with management, with the employees, and the command staff that I have to make sure that that's going to be the best fit for the police department at that time.
And city manager, could you talk about if this was a tough decision because you had two top candidates to pick from?
It was. It's always a very difficult decision trying to pick someone who both reflects the needs of the organization and the community, but also someone who has the talent, skills, abilities, and the energy to be the police chief. I can tell you that having seen Chief Hawkins work, having worked with Chief Medlock, Chief Bergemine, and Chief McCarthy before that, it's not only about having ideas. One of the things that Chief Select Braden talked about during the interview process that was so appealing to me and to others was the fact that we may not necessarily be the strongest, we may not be the fastest, we may not be the smartest, but as chief, it is his ability, it is his requirement, as it was with Chief Hawkins, to bring all of those people together to be able to tackle the issues that we have afoot. We talked about a moment ago about mental health response. I wish we had an answer for that right now. I wish we had an answer for that as a community. I wish we had an answer for that as a country. But what I can tell you is that with the support of members of the Fayetteville City Council, many of whom who are here in the back of the room, members of the police department, and members of our larger community, we will continue to do what we've always done, which is to tackle that issue like we do every other. But one of the things that I would also say about the internal candidates is that they have a much shorter learning curve, smaller learning curve. And I look forward to already telling Chief Braden that yesterday in conversations, he has ideas. And some of those are being tempered because I want to make sure that I have an opportunity to vet those with him and members of the command staff as well. But when he talked about a strategic plan, that's exactly what we hope to do in 2023, which is to sit down and talk to all the members of the department again, talk to members of the community, talk to members of the city council, and come up with a community safety plan that reflects who we are as a community in 2023. It is amazing to me when I look back and think that at the beginning of this year, we would not have been able to stand in this room. We'd have all been maxed up if we would have had, seats would have been separated. And here we are again, maskless, talking about celebrating New Year's Eve with Tony this coming weekend. Think about how much we have changed in just 12 short months. So I would ask that you continue to pray for the police department, pray for the city, pray for our chief select, and give him and the members of the police department an opportunity to do what they've always done, which is to impress us and serve us. Take a few more questions, and then we will pause for some individual one-on-ones if members of the media would like those.
Can you talk about your vision for tackling gun violence and the increase in homicides we've seen over the past year?
So very quickly, we're evaluating specifically, domestic violence homicides that have occurred this year. We're taking a look at, what we could have done better, where there's, the previous instances where we could have intervened at an earlier time. So we're constantly looking at evaluating the violent crime that's occurring and finding out moving forward, what the best practices are and what we need to change in our response to those types of calls for service to improve and reduce those types of crime.
It seems like we've been talking about ShotSpotter for a good while. Where do you stand on that?
Well, ShotSpotter is far as I understand, it's approved by council, and we'll be moving forward with that. And as a police chief, I'll constantly evaluate the efficacy of that program and report back to council and to the manager on how that is working out as a program for the city of Fayetteville.
I have a question. Someone in this room, in the police department, within the last 2.5 years, gave the order for the National Guard to draw guns on peaceful protesters that have elderly and grandkids in it. Is your leadership following in the same path of that, to call in the National Guard on peaceful protesters?
My leadership would be to evaluate a circumstance and respond to that appropriately. You know, every call for service is unique and requires a set of facts and circumstances that we need to take in order to make a response. So again, I would say that I'd have to, those evaluations be made given that circumstance if it occurs in the future.
Well, thank you all. We will now split up into anyone who wants to do individual interviews with Chief. But before we do that, there are also some people you may want to introduce here with you today, or not?
No, my wife,
Okay.
she went to visit family after
Okay,
that.
okay. Well, we're your family here today. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do some individual interviews.
We'll use Fayetteville. Are you guys gonna wanna get any individual?
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, everybody, go down.
Thank you. Uh-oh.